Hello, hello, and welcome to the CTB Show. Today is, it's the top of March. Not quite the Ides of March. The weather is wonderful. The other thing I was supposed to say is Mortal Kombat is really just an allegory for capitalism. Welcome to the show. My personal name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
What's your impersonal name?
Butt-faced. And that is, Casey the Kasem.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
You already did that
one.
You son of a bitch. Welcome to the show.
I'll do one for Casey. I'm Ted Koppel. This is Nightline.
I'll accept it.
If only.
Thank you.
God, Casey, what's wrong with you?
I was gonna
Can't just reuse catchphrases.
I was gonna go with I would like to buy a vowel, and then I panicked.
You've already used that one too, I think.
No, I haven't. I don't think so.
The KCBot 5000 is experiencing glitches this week on the CTB Show. Please forgive the production for that error. KCBot 5000. Gotta give mad props to the KCBot 5000's t-shirt. It's a very old school design by the CTB Enterprises that used to support prostate cancer research.
We no longer support that research.
No, we do not.
Because it's 2021, #MeToo, we want all men to die.
Right, yeah. They're bad. Toxic masculinity.
Do you still have these?
It gives you prostate cancer.
Oh.
What was that, Casey?
I say, do you have any of these still, or are they?
No, I don't, but I do have the design, so I can upload it to the not yet sort of introduced Teespring account, where you can get various t-shirt designs and CTB merch.
You turned them all into onesies for a friend of the show, Neil Patrick Hairless, right?
No, they did that. I gave them a shirt, and they turned it into a onesie.
Gotcha.
Speaking of which, top of the show plugs, ladies and gentlemen, I finally got a website up and running for the aforementioned Mobtown Meatsnacks 3.0 jerky delivery service now to the Baltimore area, but it does include shipping. If you would like some hot sauce and meat jerky, yes, that's right, meat jerky, delivered to your face, go to mobtownmeatsnacks.me. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will see that at the bottom of the screen. If not, it will be in the show notes page. I have to say, it's been difficult to catch up with the orders. I'm running out of inventory constantly. It's very fun.
I got at least one text message from someone I did not expect saying, "Hey, I made an order." My friend Nick.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I delivered it to his house.
I know.
Gave it to him into his face, and he was like,
"You have to go to
awesome."
fucking Linthicum for that shit.
Yeah, I did.
When's the last time you were in Linthicum?
I drove from my place in South Baltimore to Curtis Bay, all the way to Linthicum, and then back into the city.
Did you take that bridge, Hanover Street Bridge?
I did. It was a mess. It is always a mess. It's a very old bridge. It's gross.
I'm driving to Glen Burnie these days. We'll talk about it.
But I got to tell you, it feels good to drive around and just deliver things to people and check out the scenery. It's not something in COVID days that I've done at all. But on last Saturday, I drove from, where I'm at up to Bolton Hill, and just the weather was very nice. It was very warm-ish for a February, and saw all kinds of people outside doing things. We're approaching normalcy? Question mark?
I cannot wait for it to be warm enough for me to start riding my bike again around the harbor. Mm-hmm. Generally Saturday mornings around 10 a.m. so I can see all the people running, all the female people running.
No. Just say people. Let's just stop there. Humanity.
Okay. Whatever.
You started out up here,
humanity.
Look, here's the fun part about exercising, is that all the attractive people who are also exercising feel like you are part of them, and they smile at you. Man or woman.
So you feel like the female lady that is living at Harborview, who's jogging around the Inner Harbor, feels as if you are part of their club of some sort.
Exactly. Yes, that is exactly it. The 5 seconds as we pass along, she says, "That's a person being active." I say, "I am a person being active. Think about me later."
And then you stop, after they pass, and then just start smoking.
Start smoking and somehow try to find them on Instagram and stalk them.
Casey, it's very... I geotagged them all. Casey, it's very strange at a certain point, because I like to have a nice little, pot smoke during my bike rides. I don't think that's weird. I don't think that's strange. I don't bring cigarettes with me, but I do like to smoke weed when I ride my bike. That's me just getting in tune with nature, bro.
Because that's not a safety risk at all.
What's the safety risk, Casey? Who am I going to kill on my bike, which may or may not be a girl's bike?
Yourself.
That's recently been something that's come up.
Yourself.
Oh yeah, well that's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that risk, Casey.
He couldn't have lived a richer life, so
maybe a small child that is also on the path.
Oh, like I'm going to run over a toddler who's somehow wandered into the bike path, the Fort Avenue bike path out to Fort McHenry. Oh no! Someone stop that 2-year-old. Cat and Cochran's gotten loose.
It should be noted that while out and about doing these deliveries, I drove past one Atman's Deli, and Brian's wearing the T-shirt, and there was...
You can see it on our YouTube link. Hey, everybody, surf over to www.youtube.com/thecitysthatbreeds.
It's not the city that breeds.
City that breeds. Hit that like and subscribe button.
Yeah, smash it with your forehead.
Leave some comments. Liz Gull, I believe I owe you a comment on YouTube.
You do.
Coming forthwith, just as soon as we finish recording, you'll have already seen it by the time you hear this.
Very good.
Thanks.
But yeah, the line out of Atman's Deli was 40 deep at a minimum. It was wonderful to see that because, with things having been shut down for as long as they were, the pent-up demand for tradition and getting just back to the way things were is so unbelievable that...
Atman's is one of my top 5 actual favorite places in the city. A place I've been going to since I was a child. I mean, I can tell you about like the Atman's satellite in fucking Pomona Square in Pikesville. But that original fucking Atman's down there on Lombard Street on Corned Beef Row, it's my favorite place in the world. Like, here's my question, and here's where I'll get a little dicey. Here's where I'll get a little let me put a little edge on this show. Do you think like places like fucking Dave Portnoy and Barstool and like Jimmy Seafood, you think they give a shit about Jews like Atman's? Because I wonder.
Well, I'm not gonna look. No, I'm not gonna throw those guys into the bucket of.
I'm gonna call them anti-Semites before doing any research.
No. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm not willing to get into that class of criticism.
Here's what I'm saying. Dave Portnoy, I'm ready to have an internet fight with Barstool Sports. The city that breeds is coming after Barstool. Put it on BuzzFeed.
No, it is not. Brian Levy does not represent the views and opinions of the City That Breeds podcast show or the websites of any variety.
I want to see headlines on all the major aggregate sites.
Yeah.
City That Breeds comes after Barstool.
Front page of CNN.
If we can manufacture beef, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too. But in all seriousness, at Stool Presidente, I don't necessarily agree with everything, but I think you're super awesome.
I have
I'm
to say
coming for
that
you, Dave Portnoy.
that Jimmy's, of all the area
That guy
restaurants
sucks.
that I would say we have a issue with, have legitimately been like servicing the community lately and like handing out free food and stuff like that. So
I guess.
I can't fault them for that. Like, I really can't. Their rhetoric on the regular is shit. It's garbage, and the quote roasting of people on Twitter is nonsense. Stop doing that. You're a restaurant. Just tote the quality of your food and the events that you have. Just as with Riley's Oysters, which left the Federal Hill area, they used to get on Twitter and just talk about the thugs and the bleh that are
Are they still
terrorizing
doing?
the city.
Are they still doing the podcast with Kirk?
Jimmy's? I have no idea. I
Me
really
neither.
don't.
Was it Kirk and the Crab or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think with a lot of other, I mean, any podcast that exists, those things flame out within a relatively short period of time. I have no idea.
Us.
We refuse to flame out.
No, this is literally the longest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah,
Not quite.
8 years.
You know what?
8 years.
Well, give it another 3, and then it's the longest thing I've ever done in my life.
Very good. All right, ladies. Getting back to the topic at hand, Justin Fenton's going to be on the show next week.
Is that confirmed?
We are in the process of reading his book. It's very good. It's very fun. Fun in terms of it's a real page turner. You can read through it like relatively quickly.
I started it last night. I'll finish it before I sleep.
Right.
Today.
The information is highly digestible. I mean, especially if you live in Baltimore, as we all have. I'm going to have a lot of questions and a lot of interesting tie-ins to this book. I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned for next week's episode with Justin Fenton.
Yeah,
the Baltimore Sun.
You know, before we get him on, like, what are you guys taking away from it so far? Like, I am in awe of the way these guys were just kind of given license to do whatever the fuck they want, you know?
For sure. But I am also very sort of interested in how the book not only talks about the task force that, you know, the rise and the fall of it, but it ties in like Freddie Gray and 2015 and but also Baltimore County and like all the law enforcement stuff that was going on in the county with the heroin enforcement and how it all just ties together, and undoubtedly it will make an excellent HBO series at some point.
Yeah, the thing
Spoiler alert.
So far, what stands out to me is that it seems like at least in the first part, they kind of focus on the one officer, Jenkins, and that it seems like he got away with a lot, and then he was actually in a position where he was going to be held accountable for something, and then Freddie Gray happened, Batts gets fired, Davis comes in, and then there's the speech basically telling all the plainclothes officers to get the crime rate under control and tasking them kind of implicitly. Like, the way that I take from that is it's implicitly saying, like, I don't care what you do it, get the numbers.
I think one of the things I'm excited to talk to Justin about is, like, you know, these guys did it, but they were allowed to do it. Like, they were handed the license to do it. And I'm really curious to, you know, ask Justin how he feels, you know, about, like, the fact that, like, this is all about fucking the guys in charge too. Like, the way that, like, this is just everything is just completely broken. And, you know, and it's weird because I think I'm like 50 pages ahead of you guys. Like, they get to a point where, like, the guys in charge are like, everything is broken and everything's fucked and we just don't know what to do about it. And it's really weird. Like, and then they're like, but you should give us more money in next year's budget. That's something that's going to happen. I'm excited to ask about things like that.
We need more money for overtime. But, Brian, if you're 50 pages ahead of us, is one Michael J. Wood, former guest of the show, at all mentioned? Do you
I
remember
don't
that
remember.
guy?
I don't think so. That's not. I mean,
He was one
I
of the
wasn't there for. I
whistleblowers.
wasn't there for that stuff, so that's not a name that necessarily jumps out to me. So I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think so.
Right. Well, he was one of the former guests of the show who was a, quote, whistleblower on BPD, I think after he had left. And
he was like TikTok famous before TikTok, like whatever, however that works.
Yeah, in a way. And like during the time where he was essentially saying like, yeah, BPD is totally fucked. Like they do all kinds of racist shit and they have these awful practices and this and that and the other. He was a superstar. Like he was on all kinds of podcasts, including ours. And after that happened, he had a fall from grace that was so meteoric. Like I was almost embarrassed that he was on the podcast to begin with. Look it up if you want to Google.
He was like a sexual harasser and shit, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of that, but also he was involved in the protest of the Keystone Pipeline, but started to involve veterans and was taking all this money through GoFundMe,
right?
And essentially kind of like embezzled it and said like, well, hey, the money's in my checking account. I don't have to. I can spend it any way I want. And
turns out this is what the protests need for me to pay my rent. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, and moved to Arizona with my.
It's very dry here, and there are no pipelines.
Yeah, it's super weird. I suggest if you're a listener and or an avid sort of interester in what goes on in Baltimore in terms of the police, you got to look this guy up. It's wild what happened. But yeah, he was a major sort of whistleblower on Twitter, became this star, and almost within less than a year, fell from grace, I guess. I mean, like he was on the Young Turks, he was on these all these podcasts and all these shows, and in short order went nuclear and kind of was ostracized. Yeah. Anyway,
not in the book. Not in the book.
Not in the book. The book's great. We will talk to Justin Fenton next week.
That's exciting. I love this shit because it makes it seem so fucking legitimate. Like, it's good.
I know. It almost makes us seem like we know people.
No, like, we're like, listen, look, hey, what's your job if you're listening to this show? You got something you need us to do for you? We'll do it. We'll do it. You can pay us. We're in.
What?
Hire us. That's all I'm saying. Give us money. Give us money to do the thing you need us to do on our podcast for you.
Like what, Brian?
Whatever.
As an example.
Whatever.
Right, but I want you to give me an example. This is improv.
Do you own a thing and want us to say nice things about your thing? We'll do it.
Give us a sample ad, please.
Sure. Who do we know? Oh. Hi. I'm Brian Levy of the CTB Show for your local post office. Hey, guys, do you see somebody doing bullshit on fucking Facebook and saying mean things about the post office on Facebook? Don't make friend of the show, Chrissy the mailman's wife, make her own posts. You say something mean. You say something, hey, leave the post office alone. They're the best. Care about your local postman and woman. Stop saying mean things about those people. Okay, we're all standing in line at the post office. We know it sucks. You don't need to make a post about it. Fuck. The post office. They're great.
Yeah, Chrissy the mailman's wife. If you're listening.
Nope. She has repeatedly said that she does not.
Oh.
You're changing hearts and minds, Brian.
I just want everyone to be nice to the fucking post office, man.
Before we get to shout outs and take a break, I do feel like it's been an overdue segment we like to call Well It's Been, and I'm not queuing up the sound effect. Because Brian, you went to a little vacation spot.
I did. More so than that this week. It's funny the life that I've been leading recently and how
hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's real funny. Tragedy is comedy is something that is tragic for me, but is funny for you. Divorced man at this point. I went to
Divorceman.
What are my powers? I sleep alone for some period of time. But not anymore, friends.
I live with my dad.
I lived with my dad for a summer. Ooh. What are my superpowers? There's leftover chicken in the fridge. Went to Deep Creek this weekend with my girlfriend.
Oh.
I
have a girlfriend.
I have a girlfriend. Who I then posted on Instagram and Facebook. Even a Facebook, social media, Instagram, official girlfriend. Yay! Thanks for the encouragement, everybody. You guys who said nothing.
Yeah, applause. I mean, I've known about this for quite some time.
Well, to be fair. Yeah. It's still an interesting. Excuse me. It's still It's still an interesting step to take. So, there's so many people who like this picture that I have not spoken to in years, and I'm like, what are you liking here? Do you understand that this is the first picture of a new. Oh, my girlfriend's name is Jess. Should probably say that name. Should I do you understand that you are taking you're liking a picture that is a public statement? No, you're just I'm Brian a girl my favorite is I have a buddy who posted happy anniversary under the picture. I have yet to decide if it's just my favorite joke of all time, or if I have to send him a text, be hey dude, did you do what's up or what? What's going on? I think it's hilarious, so I don't want to ask because I'm ooh, I hope that's a joke. But yeah, it was a momentous weekend. Also quit Shine.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was...
I also don't work at the grocery store.
You totally mumbled your way through that whole thing. You quit your fucking job.
I quit my job. I went Facebook official with a girlfriend. Boy, big 10 days for me.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Boy, guys, I love Giant. I think you can get lots of great places to lots of great deals and things to buy at that grocery store. But boy, do not work at the 41st Street deli counter. That's a rough.
There are at least ones of listeners that are going to be disappointed that you no longer work there.
Me too.
I gotta say, thank you, friend of the show, John Helman. I loved him and his son James coming in, doing their shopping there. He has already texted me and said, "Hey, we were at the store the other day, and James was we went to the grocery counter and you weren't there, and he was kind of lagging behind, and he's like, hey, bud, what's wrong?" And it was I was just sad that Brian wasn't there. And I was that was the first time I wish I hadn't quit the Giant. I like the people, but I hated
Brian,
the people I worked with.
Brian.
Yes.
What if you started your own deli? Levy's.
Can I sell Atman's corned beef?
Yes, you can actually. I know where it's made. I've been there. It's not made at Atman's.
I also
little
know
known
where it's
secret.
from. And I've got a pretty good inside line on that one too.
Yes, you do. You know that guy.
I know that guy. No, I think history teacher's where it's at. And then
this will be the semi-retirement project.
Look, listen. If Mobtown Meatsnacks would like to partner up with Jewtown Meatsnacks, I think we're ready to do it. I think we're ready to go.
Levy's and Mobtown Meatsnacks coming together. I don't know what the title of the episode, but I'll come up with some sort of pastiche.
Do you want to listen? We should absolutely come up with some kind of corned beef recipe. The fact that you've never tried to make a corned beef before is insane.
Me?
Yeah, why not?
I can make corned beef jerky. All I
Don't
know
make
about
corned
is
beef.
desiccated meats.
We need to make some corned beef and then slice it.
Brian, I think there's a flaw in this plan.
What's it?
It's going to require you to work.
Casey, I love to go to work. I hated where I was working.
No, but Brian, like if you want to start your own deli, you're going to have to be there all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't about being at the deli. It was about spending time with the people that I was spending time.
Right.
It was look, it is the fucking 90s, and I'm prepared to say, hey, this is a toxic work environment, and I'm not coming here anymore, and I'll figure it out from fucking here. Thanks. Even being poor is better than coming to work here.
I think, no, and here's where I'm going to call you out. You're wrong, because you're not actually poor. You have a support net. You are not in danger of like losing your life, right?
I'm not.
You have a choice.
I did have a choice. Listen, look, a lot of privilege behind me walking away from that job. Ain't no fucking question. If that job had look, if that job had been, but on the other hand, if that job had been minimally fucking livable, like they weren't asking me to do anything that was insane when it was my normal shit. But there were certain parts of that job which had a lot of disrespect to it, and I just couldn't fucking do it anymore. And you know what? I think there's a lot of problem that we ask people that don't have safety nets to fucking do the shit that they were asking them to do. It's not just me. I got a safety net and I got out. But the fact that they're going to ask a ton of people who are going to do the same shit because they can't go any fucking place is fucking wrong. Like, I'll say that too. I got out because I can. There's a lot of people who can't, and they should be able to.
So, on that note, it's time to get a little angry.
No. This is the part of the show where we're happy.
Yeah, we skipped that part. Oh.
No. We're going to do the happy part second.
Oh.
Casey, do it. Time to get a little vento.
Whoa, there's so much happening.
I'll give you drugs for sex.
Time to get a little venti. Time to go red. Don't shut him up. Gonna let the band deal with this. All right, this is the part of the show in which we take a break and we give the opposite of bad props, aka shut-ups, to persons, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life and not giving us any jollies. Brian, I think you've covered maybe your this week's shut-ups.
Also police corruption, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I got it.
Speaking of that book, my shut-up this week is to off-leash dogs. Knock it off. It's not your personal dog park. You live in a city. There are so many instances in which bad things can happen with dogs. Believe me, I know. So
I was gonna say this is
fucking knock it off.
This is like a repeat of how long ago was that? Like 4 years ago?
No, it was 2016. 5 years ago.
Close.
Almost to the day. Casey, what do we got from the fam zone?
Liz says, big shut up to Larry Hogan now and forever. This is specifically referencing the fact that he said that Baltimore was given more vaccines than they were entitled to. And yeah, people.
One of you guys jot this down, but I'm actually surprised that Larry Hogan was not as much of a character in this book as I thought he could have been. Whatever. But write that down. Let's talk about that later.
But also, I would like to piggyback on that shut up in the fact that the majority of the people that are getting the vaccines in Baltimore City live in Baltimore County.
Our county people. Fucking Christ. Listen, look, I think what Larry Hogan wanted to say is, hey, I heard that maybe a couple of black people got that vaccine, and whoa, do they even deserve it? Do they even deserve it?
Well, ultimately, it's a huge disservice to the healthcare workers that are an overwhelming majority of the workforce in Baltimore City we have so many nurses and doctors and this and that and the other, most of which live in the fucking county. So those numbers are bullshit to me. Yeah, let's just get into those areas where the people are poor and at risk, and just get a truck and be like, hey man, you want a vaccine? Let's do it. That's it. Get an ice cream truck. I don't give a shit. They're equipped to hold those cold vaccines. Sorry.
You can buy weed from an ice cream truck. You should at least be able to get a vaccine from one.
Yeah. I'm still waiting in line. I mean, there are people that have gotten these vaccines that I know don't deserve it.
I'll take the tuxedo twist and a fucking COVID vaccine.
Let me get a chocolate vanilla soft swirl twirl and one of them COVIDs.
I would please like a Ninja Turtles with the gumball eyes.
Yeah.
And a COVID
I want a SpongeBob with the gumballs and the COVIDs.
I would like a malformed Spider-Man face and a COVID vaccine.
I want Darth Vader's with the red gumball eyes and the COVIDs.
Hi.
What about?
Hi. Shut up, Casey. It's 1989. And I would like a two-sided cookie with ice cream in the middle and fucking Hulk Hogan printed on either side. And for the future, a COVID vaccine.
I want a Chip-a-Witch with the COVIDs.
No, it's Casey's turn now. Now it's Casey's turn.
All right, go ahead.
Because I was afraid he was about to steal my WWF
No,
ice cream.
I've got another idea of who would be well equipped to administer the vaccine.
Oh, okay.
The squeegee kids.
$1 for a COVID?
You're gonna botch that, but you didn't.
And then people can't complain about the squeegee kids anymore because they're doing a public service.
That's
Look,
right.
all they got to do is wear masks, and they come at you with a needle, and they're like, ah! And people would be like, yes, I see what you're doing here.
It's the only people who are going to get jabbed are the ones who don't give them $1.
Anything else from the Fam Zone, Casey?
Actually, listener Adam says, "Shut up to the Mosby family," which received a couple of seconds and thirds.
I think that's going to be one of my major lines of discussion next week. Not this week.
Especially because I thought that Marilyn Mosby came off as sympathetic, and you did not think that.
I did not.
I think he was fair with her. I think he was like, this is where like she got it wrong. But I also think he put her in like she was in an unwinnable position. I'm curious. We'll find out.
That's fine.
And then lastly, listener Joe says, "Shut up to McConnell." I'm assuming that's Mitch McConnell.
Probably.
Or maybe just some guy on the street named McConnell. We'll never know.
Screw you, McConnell.
Oh, fuck you, guy.
McConnell! All right, that has been shut ups. Moving right along to the next portion of the show.
Oh, wait. Could we take a break?
I guess.
Thanks.
All right, we'll be right back after this break.
Cool.
All right, we are back from break. And we only have one topic left on the show to discuss, and that is part of my virtual background, the ongoing struggle that the stripper community in Baltimore is experiencing right now because the fascists in City Hall have told the strip clubs that they can't be open, even though the bars and restaurants can. And so they organized a protest at City Hall, which I think, in my understanding, interrupted an NAACP rally.
Mm-hmm.
Because they showed up with megaphones, as you can see in the background here, and basically said this is very unfair. We need to be able to ply our trade, giving lap dances and rubbing our boobies in people's faces. But as it turns out, I thought this was sort of like a Baltimore-only thing. It is not. Like,
It's a nationwide cause, Evan.
It really is. I noticed that friend of the show, Stormy Daniels, was the head of a rally where they were trying to raise the taxes on strip clubs or some shit like that. You know, trying to get them to like, I don't know, like pay extra because it's a vice tax or something to that effect. But I mean, I gotta say, look, the libertarian in me, the nascent libertarian, says, are you fucking out of your mind? Like, a strip club is kind of one of the easiest places to actually use masks and do social distancing. You just can't do lap dances. That's basically
no. I think a lot of the whole touching of the breasts to my skin face is part of the joy of going to a strip club.
Yes. Well, Brian, I mean, unfortunately, temporarily, you won't be able to have breasts touch your skin face. You just have to sit there at the bar at a respectable social distance and watch the breasts that normally would be on your skin face not be on your skin face and admire the female form.
But what if I want to put a dollar bill into a lady's butt crack and have her clench said butt and take the dollar bill away from me?
Listen, Brian, I was on the phone with Anthony Fauci the other day, and I asked him about this. And I asked him, what's the science on butt cheek, mouth to dollar bill transmission? He said, the science is not out.
It's the only way I know how to give, Evan.
He said, the science is not out, so better safe than sorry. And I said, this is outrageous. People are going to riot in the streets, including the strippers in the background here.
Can I tell you, the one over your right shoulder,
Just holding the sign.
No, the young lady with the megaphone.
With the megaphone?
Uh-huh.
With the midriff?
I'm getting some serious Tasha vibes from her.
Okay. I like that she's got a credit card in her waistband.
No, she's ready to like go to 7-Eleven and get some fucking Newports.
Right.
That's not cool. That is not cool.
It's not at all like
bad
a
by
stereotype.
me. That is bad by me.
So it's Miami strip club that sued Miami-Dade County over their.
I want to take Ron DeSantis down for not.
It was not DeSantis. It was the local, whatever the local person is, because of the curfew order, saying that it conflicted with DeSantis's like, "Hey, COVID doesn't exist" rule, and they actually won.
Casey, anybody who's not a cuck knows COVID doesn't exist.
Especially in Florida.
The point being, I do, among other things, I do feel like this city, despite the fact that it is a southern city, hyper prudish. Wait.
No.
Is the South prudish or is the North prudish? Who's
the
prudish?
North is prudish.
Okay. So, as a southern city, we should be down with the sex workers, right?
Yeah, we're basically New Orleans on the East Coast. Oh my God.
I've always felt that way. Every time I've been to New Orleans, I was like, I feel like we're sister cities.
What if we sold Baltimore as New Orleans of the East Coast?
That's a perfect fucking branding idea. I think it's amazing.
The New Orleans of Maryland.
Here's the problem.
Title of the episode, Casey.
Here's the problem. Savannah is actually New Orleans of the East Coast.
No!
That's why we're the New Orleans of Maryland.
We're the New Orleans of the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, not title of the episode, but good.
But real close.
Of the DMV.
New Orleans of the DMV.
Fuck you, Rich. Fuck you, Richmond. No, Casey, wait. It goes to Casey. New Orleans of the DMV.
Yeah. But here's the thing. It's not as if the strip clubs in Baltimore are making a whole hell of a lot of money. It is a lot of working class people dropping barely 10s and 20s.
Working class heroes, bro.
Yeah, I know they're heroes. They drive trucks. They have opinions about
I was talking
minorities.
about the strippers.
No, you're also right about that.
They also drive trucks during the day. Most strippers on the block have CDLs.
Did I ever tell you guys about the time that there was a pontoon boat available on Craigslist with a stripper pole in the middle, and I really wanted to buy it because it was out in Middle River-ish, and I was like, we could easily make $3,000 per trip taking this thing out in the middle of the not Chesapeake Bay with, on private trips, getting a stripper to do pole dancing and just all you can drink. Like on this
Could
pontoon.
you imagine the payoffs you'd have to do for the sexual assaults that would have happened on that pontoon boat?
Well, speaking of this book, I mean, this was back in like 2013, 14 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, we could have gotten away with it. Except that maybe the Coast Guard would have.
If it wasn't for those kids.
And that's Department of Homeland Security, so maybe they wouldn't have been so friendly to the concept.
How far into the Chesapeake Bay do you need to go for international waters?
Yeah, I was going to say, is it the middle of the Chesapeake Bay that's international waters?
Look, I'm this far away, man. You can't catch me. You can't catch me.
I'm in between Aberdeen and someplace in Delaware. I don't even know.
I can see windows on the bay. It's right over there. But you can't catch me because this is so, it's like you need to know the geography of the Baltimore metro area to get that joke.
Yeah, and if you do, send us a message on the YouTube.
No, send us $5 on Venmo to City That Breeds and say, hey, I like your show.
I think at this point, Brian, like the tip jar topics and shit like that are just out of the question because I think the Mobtown Meatsnacks are really going to be the thing that support this venture going forward. Okay. It's a fungible product. It's a good product. Not like this show.
Show's a good product.
Yeah, well,
but if you're a vegetarian and you would like,
I was going to say the final previously recorded episode of Ziggy Gets It Wrong is going to download soon, at least during this week, and then we're going to have to start recording new ones. And I am,
I'm ready. I've got some time to fill.
Well, here's the thing. I'm also ready, except that it's going to involve a lot of video editing, which I am a rank amateur at. And
well, now that COVID's over, and I think everyone agrees with that fact that right. COVID is finished. I'll just come and sit next to you and hang out while you do it. We'll do it on whenever days, and I'll just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sure.
So he'll watch you work, is what.
I'll entertain him. I will whistle while he works, Casey.
I think there is a space for Brian Levy to come along and aid in the editing process to say, like, okay, this screen grab or this clip needs to overlay over this portion of where we're talking about Al talking about the environment or, whatever it is. In particular, because he doesn't have a job. Brian doesn't have a job. He has no job. Just reiterating that Brian is unemployed.
To be fair, the last time I had a job, it took me less than 10 days to get a job at Giant and fuck myself over the best paycheck I would have ever had in my life, which would have been COVID unemployment.
Unemployment. You blew it. You blew it hard.
I blew it so hard. Fun question. If I had been getting more money than I had ever been getting in my life, would I have gotten a divorce? We'll never know. Probably. Yeah. She would have been extra sick in my face by that point.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it was about the paycheck, Brian.
It was not.
Either way.
To the audience.
Let's get back to these strip clubs, because Casey, have you ever been to a strip club?
Casey is so uncomfortable right now.
Question.
Casey, which strip club are you looking forward to getting back to now that they're opening up?
Oh,
having full knowledge that your wife is in the same room.
Yeah, she's right over there. She helped me.
Does she listen to make sure you don't say anything bad? Hey, Amber, what are you doing?
I was trying to Google what strip clubs have sued, and she's like, "Do you want to look at on this computer?"
When you were a kid, let's say 18 to 25 to 30, what were your favorite strip clubs around town?
Oh, in college was McDougal's. It's
Whoa!
McDougal's? Casey,
Yeah.
I feel like I just got hepatitis C from hearing you say McDougal's.
Well, okay, look, since I know about McDougal's, BYOB.
One time a 50-year-old
BYOB.
black woman stuck her tongue in my ear at McDougal's.
It's BYOB, but maximum 6-pack per person. And I went there one time, and this is like Outer Curtis Bay or Pasadena, something like that. And I went there one time where there was a guy sitting at one of the stages. He threw quarters at a stripper, and she basically was like, "I'm going to have you killed." And the guy was like drunk AF and was like, "Whatever," and just kind of went out into the parking lot. And I think he was like basically shoved into his F-150. And
then you heard a couple of blam blams. Like what?
Yeah, McDougal's is fucking wild. I mean,
it's a weird place.
Once upon a time, I went along with a friend of mine who owned a marketing company, and a person called him up and said, "Hey, we need help with our business." And it was not Night Shift, but what's the other place called in Curtis Bay?
Fantasies.
Fantasies. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Went to Fantasies, met the owner, who was actually a very shrewd business person, and he was like, "I want to expand this business. I want to have a live concert venue. I want the upstairs, which is currently empty, to be like a live performance venue. Stand-up comedy, that sort of thing."
I want Adam Sandler here tomorrow.
Right, and I'm sitting there listening to him. I'm like, well, this is actually a really good idea. And he's like, yeah, let me take you outside. Like, I've already started like cutting down some of the grass and clearing out the back area to set up this live, stage where it's going to be sort of like this biker live music venue. And I said to him, I was like, are you going to set up some sort of masthead brand name like Power Plant Live to include like all of these things? And he said, oh, no. I'm just going to get people to come here from the Ravens games, under the draw of coming to see live music. But really, I'm just trying to get them to go to the strip club. And I was like, why? I mean, like, if you've got all these different ideas, why not make all of them work at the same time? And he was just
because pussy makes the most money. It's the way of the world.
And that's exactly what he said. And I was just kind of like, okay, man, And then the guy I was with at the time, he turns to me and says, while the owner was going to the bathroom, he was like, I don't think I can take this guy on as a client. And I said, why? He's like, because one of my clients is one of the largest Lutheran churches systems in the United States. And I was like, well, that's why you don't tell them.
Right. First off, don't say anything. And secondly, does sound like a conflict of interest.
Kind of. But that was one of the most amazing strip club experiences I ever had. Because, as they were renovating the space and we were sitting around there, like talking to him about his marketing plans and this and that and the other, there were women walking around like semi-topless and this and that and the other. And I was like, it's barely lunchtime.
I will tell you the best stripper experience I ever had. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm at a friend's bachelor party. We were in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're on a lake. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter who it is. We're just on a lake. So we have some girls come to the house, right? They do a dance. There's some shit with blow pops. There's a lot of like things happening. We are very cool people. They decide that they are going to hang out. They're going to party. At one point, the police show up and they say, hey, we need you guys to keep it down. Then the police come back again and they say, hey, guys, really, bring the drugs inside and we really need you to keep it down. The police show up a third time and they say, hey, we need to see her ID. And then they say, okay, she is old enough. Like we said, just keep it inside. They go upstairs to do the private dance for my friend, whose wedding it is. He comes down with a shell-shocked look on his face. And he says, I have a story and I will tell you later. The girls leave after hanging out off hours for a few hours. My friend says, okay. So I go upstairs and the girl starts dancing and then she starts crying and she says, I just turned 18 3 weeks ago. I don't know what this is. And I said, I don't know if I could do strip clubs ever again after this night because this was just too fucking weird.
Oh, that is sad.
Yeah, man. Also, one of the best nights of my life.
Cool.
Totally very sad. I think we all have stories like that when it comes look, sex work is work, and I think we need to legitimize it.
Of course, yeah, duh. This is not the woke podcast, but I agree.
Yeah, argue completely with what I just said then.
Brian, you're screaming so loud that you shorted out your own microphone.
No, I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is a legit conversation that we are never going to have in terms of a society until 20 years from now. Look, we haven't even gotten weed off Schedule 1.
Ooh, wait, real quick. Are we close in Maryland? Have I finally waited it out long enough? Is weed about to become legalized in Maryland?
You mean recreational?
Yeah.
It's being discussed.
It's being discussed, Casey.
I think there's a bill.
Look at this.
I believe Virginia just passed it as well.
Uh-huh. Wait, Virginia
did? This is what's so
Virginia.
ridiculous is that for every state that legalizes it recreationally or medicinally, it is still federally illegal. And so we cannot have these dispensaries or, places that are distributing it otherwise deposit their money into banks.
Well, here's my bullshit way around that. If you need like 2/3 of the country or whatever it is to do a constitutional amendment, as soon as we get 2/3 of the state who say, hey, it's recreational, that sounds to me like a constitutional convention. And we should have that fucking amendment. And I've never read that before any place. And I wonder if anyone's ever said that. But I think we just need to wait until what's 50 divided by 3? 14 or 15 states decide, 17 states decide that, hey, it's recreational. And then I think, 34 states? 34 states decide that, we need to, have a fucking constitutional convention, man. And then, weed's legal in Baltimore. And then I'll have one.
Brian, are you aware of when the last time we had a constitutional
I'm
Congress?
Going to have to think because I'm actually quite good at this. It would have to be in the mid-1960s when they lowered the voting age to 18.
Well, Casey, you've been sitting in the cyber chair. Are you looking this information up? Because I am guessing 1974.
No, if it's in the mid-60s in 1974, it's the same thing. What's the last?
Because they used to do it on the regular every 20 years. We have not done it in over 40 years at this point.
What's the last amendment to the Constitution, Casey?
35th?
35. I think it's 20-something. I should really know this before I teach
something
American
about limiting Congress's pay. It's so stupid.
What? Ew, gross. Ew, I hope it's something good.
Here's the last thing we should do while Casey is looking this information up.
Yes, please.
If we're going to be members of the Constitutional Congress, what do you think ought to be, included as an amendment to the Constitution? And don't be dumb about it. Kind of try to, get something for real.
2 things. Legalization of marijuana and
No.
gay marriage. Oh, okay. What's the other one? What do you think?
Well, you can't specifically mention marijuana in a constitutional amendment. That's
the decriminalization of all drugs. If you're a drug addict, you get to get like fucking counseling. You get to go to rehab. We like sucks that the world has to pay for you, but such is the world that has invented drugs. Like, I know you hate it. I know you hate it.
It's not because of it's not like I don't agree with what you're saying. I think, but including it in the Constitution seems too.
I think we need to stop locking up drug addicts.
It's too specific. It needs to be sort of related to health as a broader topic.
Oh, so, then it's fine. Then drug addiction is a health problem, and all healthcare issues are free.
Well, if you're gonna include drug, issues, then you have to include mental health issues.
Sure.
And you have to include various other,
If you get issues. Cancer, you don't have to go into debt to fucking people. How about that? That's my, fuck. Like, it used to be just like, if you got cancer, you died. So that's why you didn't owe anybody any money. But now that like we can save your life, you fucking owe us? Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Wait, what?
Hannah, just come over here.
Wait, what are you saying? Oh, I thought it. This is great pod.
Yeah, I can't hear any of this.
Off mic is saying things. Casey, what do you have, guy in the chair?
So the last amendment was ratified in 1992.
Okay.
It was the 27th Amendment. It actually, interestingly enough, it was 202 years since the amendment had been proposed. So it was initially proposed in 1789.
Wow.
Well, but what was it, Casey?
The law, it's basically saying that if Congress voted on a pay raise, it wouldn't go into effect until the next crop of elected representatives. So, like,
oh my god, I hate that one. What's the last one that I care about?
Prohibits the denial of right of U.S. citizens 18 years or older to vote. That was 71.
Okay. So I said mid 60s. Evan said mid 70s. 1971. There we go. I think that's beautiful. We're very smart, friends.
My takeaway from this is we should do a 5 minutes with the fam about the Constitution.
I like it.
Oh, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. No, none of us are. That's a joke. But we do need to do some more of those things because they are awesome.
People really like them.
Wow. Yeah, like 8 people like them.
Cool.
Actually, I have to say, in the fam zone, they are very well received. On YouTube, not so much. But, yeah, hey, content.
Well, tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Speaking of tell your friends about the internet sensation.
That's sweeping 92Q.
And causing copyright.
Okay, Brian. Sweeping the nation. It's time for shout-outs.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Stop. Hey, it's the rare instance in which this is the end of the show in which we give mad props, aka shout-outs to persons, places, and things that are giving us jollies and improving our qualities of life. Casey, from the C-T-shirt Baltimore Fam Zone Extreme for only 2 more weeks, I think. Oh, Brian, you fucked it all up.
I didn't mean to. My phone just told me that I was at 20%. I am so sorry. I did not do it.
Plug your phone in and stop touching the screen.
I didn't know it was going to happen. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Brian, sorry. Casey, what do we got?
Mac says, shout out to Mobtown Meatsnacks. Getting in my belly next week.
Mac, your delivery is on its way as of the airing of this episode.
Hannah says, shout out to all the fun words other than pandemic that people use. And there's a link to a TikTok video. And Liz says, shout out to driving around with the windows down in February.
Agreed.
And then it got cold and disgusting. And then the last one, this was a leftover from last week. Eric says, first time poster, long time fan here.
Oh.
Shout out to 90s to early 20s WJZ, Baltimore's favorite news team. Don, Scott, Marty Bass, Denise Koch, Mike Shue. I pronounced that right. Ron Matz. Just another Manic Monday, baby.
Huh. I missed that one entirely.
Yeah, it was.
Shout out to
I
that
think
comment.
it got posted.
Yeah, but
the
fuck
day.
you, Dick Gelfman. He did a hatchet
Fuck
job
you
with my
trying
mom.
to keep tabs on scams.
He did a hatchet job with my mom.
Oh no.
I know.
Anything
then-
left on the fam zone?
None of the fam zone. So mine.
We'll do a 5 minutes on the fam on why I hate Dick Gelfman.
Okay. All right.
Write that down.
That'll be a big hit.
Okay. Why not?
So, yeah, so this is like a shout up on my. I don't know if it's a shout out or a shout
A
up.
shout
but-
up is fine.
Yeah. So the Baltimore County Animal Control has gotten involved now in our neighborhood. Like the cats have spread throughout the neighborhood.
Shut the fuck up, Casey. Shut your
Someone-
fucking mouth, you fucking liar.
In our
We need to do a
neighborhood,
5 minutes on this.
Yeah,
Our
what the
neighborhood-
fuck, Casey?
in our neighborhood Facebook page, people were starting to post about all the cats, and somebody
Holy
called Animal
shit.
Control to come in and do a trap and release to get them spayed. Apparently, one of the cats is in heat, and people are complaining about the cat noises.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's bad. I should post a video of my cat, producer Mila, when she was in heat for the first time. It's woo.
You didn't have producer Mila spade?
No, I let her go through her first heat and then I got her spayed. That's to me,
Weird.
It's not weird at all. It's kind of normal actually.
Bob Barker hates you.
He does not. Also,
No, he
he's
told
still
me.
alive, by the way.
Is he? I couldn't remember when I said it.
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
And also Gene Hackman, 91.
Gene Hackman retired after Welcome to Mooseport because he hated working with Ray Romano so much.
That's too bad.
It is.
My shout out this week is to Korean fried chicken. So good. So crispy. And so easy to make. All you got to do is soak that chicken in milk and then dust it around in some rice flour. Deep fry it for 4 minutes and you're done. Crispy.
My shout out is, hey guys, you got about a week to get your hands on a copy of We Own This City by Justin Fenton. We're going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him all the questions like that drunk guy at a bar would ask some guy he knows kind of about that book he wrote. So it's going to be very awesome. I hope you're really going to like it because I think we're going to do a good job because we're very good interviewers.
It's true. We've got a Google Doc going with all of our little comments and questions, and I think we're just going to have him on for the entire episode, no wraparound, and that'll be it.
Brian's been dictating his questions to us to write down.
Right. We have nothing else to talk to him about other than the acquisition of the Baltimore Sun by, a local philanthropist.
Yeah, we have nothing but important things to ask this super important reporter that we somehow have conned to being our friend. Like,
What's this we stuff? I've been friends with him for like 13 years, so
well, he
fuck
likes
off,
me.
Brian.
He likes me personally. I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying, we have hung out multiple times as friends.
Yes, we have.
No,
Who
I mean-
hung out with him more?
Yeah, true. Okay, that's fair.
Whatever, I don't care. All right, this has been episode 351 of the CTB Show. Thank you very much for listening. thank you very much for watching. If you've been doing that, thank you very much for being a friend. Thank you very much for being a fan. Have a great day and a better tomorrow.